excitement that I introduce today's young entrepreneur, Ms.Prachi Gala. She is an inspiration to all of us. Having achieved so much at a young age, Ms. Prachi Gala is a dynamic entrepreneur and the founder of Octopus Incorporation, a company she established in 2015 to provide innovative products and services in the field of agriculture and water management. Through Octopus Incorporation, she offers consultancy services for water testing laboratories, facilitates NABL certification, and delivers automation solutions for water supply systems using IoT technology. In addition to leading Octopus Incorporation, Ms. Gala has been the owner of Octopus Marketing since 2018, expanding the company's reach in laboratory, instruments, equipments, chemicals, and consumables. Her dedication to sustainable agriculture led to the founding of Octopus Krishi Seva Kendra in 2016, an initiative that supports farmers through consultancy on soil, water testing, disease prevention, and modern agricultural practices. In May 2022, she took on the role of director at Lokhahi Wellness Private Limited, launching a premium line of skincare products under the brand The Good Skin, fostering on natural ingredients and innovative formulations. Her remarkable journey and unwavering commitment to innovation and sustainability serve as an inspiration to aspiring entrepreneurs. Let's give a huge round of applause to ma'am. Now I would like to call Dr. Saroj Shekhawat to welcome Ms. Prachi Gala with a bouquet of flowers.
So when I see you over here, I remember my first year. And of course, we didn't have such a seating, but it doesn't seem like a very long time ago that I was in your seat full of anticipation for the future. We just had one random idea at that time, me, everyone, that we want to be successful. Life mein success hona hai. We want to be successful, okay? But at that time, we don't really have any idea, or we just have some random notions of what success really is. How will we achieve that success? What would be the cost of that success? And if it will make us happy. After all, that is what we want, right? So, but in the first year, we are like, कि हाँ, अपन success तो बनेंगे, बाद में successful तो बनेंगे. Pardon my Hindi, it's not very good. So, what? Someone said something? Oh, I can't see you now. What happened? मैं बोलूं? So, today as I stand, after first year, when you have that idea, that random thoughts, but then life happens, okay? हम लोगों का random thoughts होता है, but then life happens. It has its twists and turns, it has its ups and downs. You have to traverse all that to achieve what you want in your life. So today when I stand here, having traveled somewhat of the path, I have a fairly good idea of what success really is. For me, okay, the definition of success for me is what I have gotten through these few years of life while I have reached here. So success to me is, number one, being at peace with myself and my personal choices and not just the bank balance. You will realize that later on in life. That is not just about bank balance. Success to me is doing what I love and have a purpose in life. It is to have strong, meaningful connections with family and friends, because money can't replace the value of genuine relationships ever. I really value the time and freedom to enjoy life outside of work. I do a lot of activities outside work. The joy you get when you help others and give back to the community. And my favorite, no amount of money can replace good health. So being healthy is very important while you work on your startup or while you are carrying out a business. Because if you're not healthy, then you won't be able to do all this. You won't be able to enjoy the fruits, okay? So you need to have a balance of all this. This is my definition of success. You will figure out your own definitions later on in life. So since I am here, I'll talk about my company first, and then we'll move on to the topic of the day, entrepreneurship. So I am the director of the Octopus group of companies. I'll come to the point later why do we call the company Octopus. But we started with Octopus Inc. And then we have 4 more companies. So there's Octopus Marketing, Octopus Services, Octopus Care, and Octopus Tech Craft. So I'll briefly go through all of that. The first company, which was founded in 2015, is Octopus Inc. And we specifically work with state agriculture and public health engineering departments. And we supply products and services related to soil and water management to these departments. So this is the one-line description of what the company does. But actually, we do a lot more. But this is the main thing that we do. We are the leading manufacturers of soil and water testing kits, which are used in field. These are distributed by the government departments at ground level, at district level, at division level and all. So we are the largest suppliers of these kits in the country, and we have supplied these to each and every state in India. There's hardly any state that we have not touched. We have supplied these everywhere. We have technological support from Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, and Indian Agriculture Research Institute, which is the premier institute of agriculture. We have also designed testing kits which test adulteration in milk. We have set up agri-business centers. So in these centers, we cater to the farmers' needs. So we provide free of cost soil and water testing to farmers. And based on that, whatever crop they want to take, we give them recommendations for fertilizers or pesticides or whatever that they want to grow, seeds. And all that is available at the agri-business centers. So we have set those up. We also have our own soil and water testing laboratories. We also set up laboratories for government. So every state, every agriculture department of the state or PhD department of a state has laboratories at state level, at division level, at subdivisional levels. And these laboratories, as you would be knowing, first of all, since they are under the government, secondly, locations are also not very, they are very remote, so they are not very well developed. So we develop those labs for them, we upgrade the labs, we supply instruments, whatever is needed for the labs, even we give the furniture for the labs. So we do that. Having done that, they don't even have manpower to run the labs. So we provide the manpower, we take up the responsibility of running the labs on a contractual basis. We have now also gone into automation of water distribution systems through smart and IoT-based technologies. So through PLC and SCADA and such interventions, we have started that also. We also provide consultancy for NABL accreditation of laboratories. And we are right now handling a very, very big project, which is the soil health card project. I will go in details about all this. So since we are doing so many things, first I'll go in brief, and then in the photo gallery, I'll be explaining in details. Next company is Octopus Services. This is the division which runs the soil and water testing labs that we own. We also conduct classrooms for skill development under PMKVY, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. So this scheme is for development of skills. They have a number of skills, okay, number of trades they have. You can select the ones that you want to train the people in, And then you have to, according to government norms, you have to make the classrooms and all, and you have to give training. You have to make them entrepreneurs. That is what is the aim of this program. So we do this in rural areas, and we have given training in organic farming and irrigation methods. And there have been many entrepreneurs who have come up from these programs. We also work a lot for rural empowerment. I'll go in details, as I said, later. So this is the profile of the company. We run our laboratories, the production facility for our kits, that also is one of the facilities is being run under this company. Rural empowerment, employment to rural youth, empowerment to women. We conduct drives for awareness on menstrual hygiene in schools amongst village women, and we distribute sanitary pads through our women entrepreneurs who we have called Sakhis. They sell this and they earn their own living. We conduct medical camps. So all that we do under this company. The next company is Octopus Care, which is our personal care division. So we have set up a factory according to FDA norms, and it's a very rigorous process. You have to go through a lot to set it up, and when you get FDA license, it takes a long time. So we have set that factory up, and we make world-class skin, hair, body care products. We are also offering third-party manufacturing and consultancy for the same. And we will be launching our products very soon. It's taking its time, but that's fine. And we have, again, employed many youth from the rural areas in this factory. So they are earning their living from the factory. Octopus Marketing is my new business development division, where we work on new ideas. We put in our funds over there for R&D purpose, for playing around, hoga ki nahi, that kind of. So, and we also supply specialized and sophisticated instruments to the laboratories, the government laboratories. In this, we have supplied organic agricultural inputs to government. And recent diversification we have done in spices. We'll be coming up with spices division also pretty soon. It's taking its time because I'm busy with other projects, but yeah, pretty soon. This is something new that we have just started since a few months. We are just exploring because we had some requirements regarding this. Maybe in your classrooms you have these smart interactive touch panels. Probably you have those now. So we had such inquiries, so we have just started to see how it goes. So we are dealing in interactive touch panels, smart projectors, home cinema, etc. So that is one more division that we have. So the highlights of my company. We started with just 4 people and a small office. Today we are a family of more than 600. We have 7 offices in Baroda now, 3 production facilities, 2 laboratories, 2 agri-business centers, 2 offices in Northeast, 1 office in Chhattisgarh, and we are still growing. We have generated immense employment and growth opportunity for the educated unemployed youth in remote and rural areas. We have created many entrepreneurs who have succeeded and earned profits. Today we have on our board 2 to 3 PhD level experts, we have agronomists, we have automation experts, we have instrument engineers, and many more. We are still growing. This is not the end. And as I say, onwards and upwards from here. So that is my short journey till here. And ma'am, can I ask if they have any questions at this point? Yeah. Yeah, so do you have any questions up till here? Samajh aaya? It's not very difficult that I said, na? Yes or no? So, no questions, huh? Very nice. So now I'll be explaining in detail about my products. So these are the soil and water testing kits that I was talking about. We started our business with these products. You know, you might have some questions ki ye product kaise start kiya? Why did you think of this product? Why did you think of going into government sector and all? We will discuss that when we cover the topic of entrepreneurship. But right now we'll just go through the products. So there's the soil testing kit. We also have a digital version of the soil testing kit, the water testing kits. So basically, since we are providing to the government, as you know, the government has 5-year plans for each ministry. So if there is a Ministry of Agriculture Cooperation, there is a 5-year plan. If there is a Drinking Water and Sanitation Department, there is a 5-year plan. The government operates on 5-year plan, right? You know, no? Yeah. So it operates on 5-year plans. So in those 5-year plans, there are so many schemes and programs which we have identified in which we can give our products and services. We really need to be abreast of all these guidelines. They keep changing, things are added, things are modified. So, you know, we are always on our toes. We have to be very much aware of what is happening. And we have to be ahead. You know, we have to see that some change is going to come. We should be ready to give our products at that time. Right, so the water testing kits are our main products which go under the National Rural Drinking Water Quality Monitoring Program. Okay, so that's a component of the 5-year plan. We have also set up laboratories, as you can see. So there are static laboratories, laboratories which are in a room, mobile laboratories, laboratories which are in a bus. You can see the interiors also. So these mobile laboratories can move anywhere in remote areas, and the testing can be done. So there is one soil also and there's one water also. Both the photos are there. So the blue one is the water, the green one is the soil. These are our agribusiness centers. So they are in a rural setup, obviously, where farmers are there. So we have 2 agribusiness centers. Through field activities, we generate a lot of awareness with the farmers, and we have been able to make a lot of change in their yield. So you can see some of the field activities. It's impossible to show all of it over here, but this is what. So awareness meetings are done, night meetings are done. We recommend for specific crops what regimen has to be followed. And according to that, the farmers get a good yield, and then they can get profits also. The big project that I was talking about, the soil health card. Now the soil health card is a flagship program of the government of India, along with the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Farmer Welfare. So it's about providing each and every farmer with a soil health card, the health of the soil of the farmer, so that he knows that what is the nutrient status of his soil, how much nutrients to be added or not, to avoid over-fertilization. And the fertilizer recommendation, everything is given to them from the government portals. So we are running this program in entire states. We are running their laboratories. In some places we are doing the soil testing. In some places, like we are, all of those are all laboratories in remote areas, but all the employees are ours. We are only running, but we have only placed them over there. But these places are not in Gujarat. So we do the collection of, it's a project in totality. So you have to collect the soil samples, you have to pre-treat the soil samples, you have to take them in testing, you generate reports, and you distribute reports. It's such a long project. So we have that's going on, because of which my manpower increased suddenly. And it's a very fulfilling project. So you see all those people standing in front of the lab. Then we have set up the labs. We have provided the modern instruments. So there is AS. There are many things. We have even given ICP. I think there's a photo somewhere ahead. So this is the soil health card project. You can see in the first photo, the soil sample collection being taken. Second photo, the drying process, the labeling process, testing on ICP, the data entry, and the last one is the distribution of soil health cards. The skill development classrooms that I was talking about under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, those are the ones, the first two photos. The second row is rural and women empowerment. The center photo you can see, the person has, in Gujarati they say gaadi chodavi. So he has bought an Activa. A lot of our employees have bought two-wheelers, and something that they hadn't thought they would, they have been able to take loans from banks based on their income, and their lives have improved manifold. So that is also that was one of our initial aims, when we started our business, that this is what we want, actually. This is the FDA production facility, which is for the skin, body, the personal care division. So as you can see, it has some norms which has to be followed, and with that only we have made this factory. Okay, so any questions still here? Some questions? Either I'm speaking so nicely that everyone is understanding everything, or no one is understanding anything. Yes. 1 minute, I can't hear you. Ma'am, is there some facility for a mic?
Hello.
I can't hear you. 1 second, they are bringing a mic.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम। मैम आपने 4 पीपल में से मोर देन 600 पीपल की कनेक्टिविटी कैसे की आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में?
It's this project, the soil health card project, which we won. So in that, because it is such a big project, it's of an entire state. So you need so many collectors in field for soil sample collection. You have to run 30 laboratories over there. So 6 people in each laboratory. So you do the math. Then we also have supporting laboratories here in Baroda, where more than 200 people are working. Data entry, we have a very big cell. So with that, right now we are more than 600. And yes, it was a sudden shift, because I personally had kept the team very small. We were 4 initially, but then of course we grew till 29. And we were 29 till a very long time. And then from 29, the jump was directly to 200, 400, and 600. So it's because of the project, and we have been able to manage even that very well. So I hope that answers your question. 4 was very initial when we started. Then fatafat we grew, so we had to take people. So then we were 29 for about 3-4 years. Yeah. Uske baad se then it grew. This year only that we have grown so much. Anyone else? Good question, by the way. So, coming to the topic of entrepreneurship. So you can tell me, someone of course has to tell me now, what is entrepreneurship? Yes. Someone. I'll ask you only again, the person who answered the question, if you only say. आप उधर ही माइक दे के रखो. He will only answer everything.
Ma'am, as per my knowledge, that somebody can do a innovation for the startups, and that's like,
Okay, then what is a startup?
ma'am, to build a new company in the very small scale. For example, my cousin has started just startup of the टी-शर्ट्स. वो प्रिंट करता है और फिर मार्केट में उसको बेचता है.
Correct.
बट मैम, मेरे को क्वेश्चन था, उसका 1 ईयर हो गया, फिर भी उसका मोर देन 10 का स्टाफ हुआ ही नहीं. ऐसा क्यों? और मैम, आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का हो गया मोर देन 400 जस्ट 1 ईयर. मैम, उसका आप कुछ
पर वो
गाइडलाइंस
क्यों करना है स्टाफ बड़ा? छोटे में
मैम,
अगर
टू
हो रहा है
इंक्रीज द
सब कुछ,
कनेक्टिविटी.
नहीं तो फिर रिक्रूट कर लो. हम ऐसे
Okay.
वो देन what you want to do, because when we were just we were four for about a year, but we were able to manage everything in those 4. But as soon as we thought that, no, not even a year, we were 4 for just a few months, but then we started to grow so fast, so then we needed to recruit people. In my field, in the field where where we supply to the government, social media branding and marketing is not that important. But in the other companies that I showed, that is also nowadays very important. So you need to get those on board. So you need to take up, social media marketing is very big right now. Whatever field, whatever company you start, you need that also. You know how many people just sit on Instagram and search for anything. So that is also very important. So,
Thank you,
but it depends. आप लोग, आपका क्या है? मेरा काम बहुत अलग है. तो हम लोगों का प्रोजेक्ट ही ऐसा है. And the project is, it's very big in terms of money also. So we need people ना. That is why. अगर तुम्हारा कम में होता है तो खर्चा ही मत करो ना, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? कनेक्ट करना है तो ले लो लोगों को.
थैंक यू मैम.
Welcome. So he is right, a startup, because he has a cousin who has a startup. He is very correct. It is a newly established company with very few founders. There might be one founder or there might be 2 partners or 3, 4, 5 depending. मतलब पर founders उतने कम ही होते हैं. And with limited resources, and it is focused on developing and bringing a unique product, service or a business model out in the market. But in the Indian context, the Indian government gives a lot of support to startup. You should be aware, if you want to start any small business or a big business, the government gives a lot of support. So this was the definition of a startup. But in the Indian context, a startup is a registered company, which can be a private, a partnership, or an LLP, which does not have a turnover of 100 crores. So obviously a startup will not have a turnover of 100 crores. It has not been operating for more than 10 years. Okay, so very easy, you can register your company as a startup right at the beginning. Because then there are a lot of benefits that you get once you register as a startup. The government has so many schemes, so many programs for startups that you can reap many benefits out of it, okay? And entrepreneurship is the ability and the readiness to run these startups and finally to make a profit, ठीक है? ऐसे ही run करने का is not entrepreneurship. You must be doing something meaningful. You must be gaining profits at the end. Only then it's called entrepreneurship, okay? So those are the 2 definitions right at the beginning that I would like to tell you. And now, yeah, so we'll move ahead with the presentation if no one has a question. No questions, right? Okay. So if you want to, I will be using the terms interchangeably, startup and entrepreneurship, because they are very closely connected. You start a startup and then when you run it, it's called an entrepreneurship, okay? So वो दोनों साथ साथ ही चलेगा. And I will be giving my own examples of my own company in many of the points. So you start with a clear vision, ठीक है? You have to define your vision, your mission, and your core values, and you have to set SMART goals. By SMART, I mean specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You cannot start with any random thoughts or any random wish, ye aisa karenge. No. There would already be many people who might be working on the idea that you think is new. Not necessary that what you think is very unique. There might already be something which is already there in the market. If you have a good idea, you need to set a time frame that this much time you will give to this much money you will spend on it. You cannot be giving unlimited time and resources to it. Then you need to pivot. If it's not working, you need to change your strategy. Then you need to change your ideas. But then everything has to be very much measurable, and it should, whatever you have envisioned, the profits, the gains, they should be in sight. ये नहीं है कि आप डालते जाओ अंदर डालते जाओ and then you're not gaining anything. You're just doing it for the sake of doing. That won't work. So when we started our company, before that, I was also working, I was doing a job somewhere. When we left the job, at that point, the only thing we knew is कि अब हम यहाँ काम नहीं करने वाले. We are not going to work over here. That was sure. At that time also, we didn't have any idea now what we will do. There were some ideas going on, but nothing concrete. Because when I left the job and then I stayed at home, I enjoyed that period so much. Because no more getting up early, catching the bus, going to the factory, no punching, punch out. I was actually not ready to do anything. I was enjoying that time so much कि अभी कुछ नहीं करना है, आराम करना है. I was able to give time to my family, my pets. I just loved it. And then after a few days, we made some decisions. I made some decisions that I'm never going to punch in and punch out in my life. I will have my own office and I will go to office when I wish and I'll come back when I wish. I am never going to work on Saturdays, 100%. And I'm never running after turnovers. ये 3 चीज़ हम लोग ने नक्की कर लिया. That these 3 we are not going to do. I am definitely not going to do. Now what? These 3 things in place, now what to do? So then we were enjoying our time. As I said, we had an office, we had started an office, but I wasn't even going to office because I had become so lazy, I was sleeping only the whole day. But then that's the physical part. Mentally, the mind is working, and we were getting an idea as to what will we be doing. And we decided that our end customer is going to be the government. And we will be doing something in the field of agriculture. And we will be doing something with which the farmer and the rural community is uplifted. So these were the goals which were set. And then we started work on it. In the beginning, although we had some experience, me and my partner, a lot of people knew us in the government already. But we didn't have any paperwork on our hand to show. हमारे पास कोई purchase order नहीं था. We didn't have anything. Based on what would anyone give us orders? But we did receive orders from customers who knew that where these two are, 100% things will be delivered. They will 100% get qualities. 100% they will get value for money. They will get service. And they went out of their ways to give us the initial orders. And after which we became eligible to participate for more tenders. I'll come to that. So that is how we began. But my initial goals were very clear: no punching, no Saturdays, and no running after turnovers. But that's a wrong lesson. That's just what I did. You don't follow that. So once you have a clear idea of what you want, then you have to understand the market. Because what idea you have, it might not even be viable. It might be viable outside India. It might not be viable inside India. But do you have the resources to make it viable outside India? Because that requires a lot of money, a lot of resources. So if you are thinking small, then you have to think like that. If your product is so new that people don't even know about it, then you have to invest in marketing. Sorry, you have to invest in marketing. You have to invest in a lot of things. So lot of thought process before you actually start your production or your company goes before that. So we had done this research, which is why we came to that this is what we will be doing. So ours is not an IT or a fintech or an edtech or anything to do with any kind of software. It's a very grassroots level business that we are doing. But this is what we selected. You can also select that. It's not necessary कि oh IT में ही ज़्यादा पैसा है. No. You can do a lot of other things. You have to develop a very solid business plan. Okay, so what exactly is your business? Who is your target audience? Marketing strategies, finance, of course. The main thing. If finance is not in place, then none of it will make sense. You need to have your finances in place. And you have to use this plan as a roadmap to stay focused and attract investors. You need to learn financial management, and you need to learn the legal requirements of whichever state you are going to work in or where you are going to put up your business. Every state will have different laws. There are some common laws, of course, of GST and income tax and all that. All that is common. But there will be some local laws also. You have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of everything, of all of this before you actually start with your startup. Okay, because then कुछ शुरू किया फिर पता चला ये यहाँ चलेगा ही नहीं, then what to do? Everything is wasted. So you have to be aware of everything right at the beginning. So you start small, you start smart, and only then you scale up. You have to see कि चला कि नहीं, and then after that you can move ahead. Building the right team, very important. दोस्ती में startup लगा दिया, that doesn't work every time. It may work a lot of time, but it may not even work. You know, me and my partner, we have our own strong points, and we complement each other so well. We know our boundaries, we know where we don't overstep into each other's area. And the way we function has actually been very instrumental in getting the company where it is today. We may have our small disagreements every day, actually, but we do not, it has never been a fight. There has never been a fight over money, over work, over any project, because our thoughts are so aligned. Both of us want the same thing. So it has never, there have been so many partnerships that we know of where there have been some fights, some or the other, something has fallen apart. But you have to be very clear from the beginning. So you have to start with the right core team, and then you also have to build the right team. Okay, so qualified persons for your project. Since you are starting small, you don't even need to just recruit one person and just move ahead with that. But the core team has to be very strong and very good. Okay, so you need to invest in training and development and polishing the required skills. Fresh out of college, you have an idea, but then you haven't actually learnt about it. So then you can invest in training and getting that skill developed. Yes, most important, leverage technology. In today's world, the importance of social media, as I said, it plays a very crucial part in the growth and success of startups. So it's very important for brand building, cost-effective marketing, increased visibility, direct customer engagement, lead generation, driving website traffic, community building, collaboration opportunities. You must already be aware of all this because everyone has searched on Instagram or Facebook for something or the other, so you already know about it. You also need to stay updated on the tech trends relevant to your industry. So continuous reading, continuous searching on the net. You have to be aware. You cannot, knowledge is dynamic, okay? It will keep on changing. In today's world, it's very fast. You have to stay abreast of the topics relevant to you, or You need to know about your competitors also, no? So you have to be very much there at par, okay? So start small and scale smart, as I have been saying. We did start small earlier. We received small orders in the beginning, but we achieved success in all of it. And these small orders gave us the momentum to dream bigger, and after which we have just been growing. We are so thankful for those small orders. And the growth has been very well, touch wood. You have to prioritize customer experience. Okay? You might think your product is very good. 100% it will be very good, but if the customer doesn't say so, your product will not work. Every customer feedback has to be taken in a constructive manner and has to be worked on it. You take the feedback as a positive review of your product rather than criticism, okay? Because only then you will be able to make some difference, to work on it so that the customer accepts it, right? You have to stay resilient and adaptable. As I said, you will have setbacks, you will have failures, you must not give up, you must stay resilient. If you have the resources, you might pivot. You just change your strategies, change your ideas, and then move ahead. That is also fine. You have to adapt to changing market and conditions. आपने आज कुछ सोचा, वो आज relevant है. But till it got developed 2 years from now, the relevance is no longer there. This might happen in IT field, okay? So then you have to fatafat change. You have to change. You cannot stick to that idea which is already old, okay? So that is also very important. As I said, you have to understand legal and regulatory requirements of the place where you are going to do business. That will be different everywhere, and it will differ from business to business also. And most important, I've highlighted it, is that you have to believe in yourself. Agar khud mein hi belief nahi hai, then you will not be able to move ahead. So you have to believe in yourself, what you are doing. There will be setbacks, but you have to move ahead, and you have to try your best to make it a success. So this is what is, when you are planning a startup and you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to do all these things. You need to be very aware. So any questions till here? Now I hope there are some questions. My company was very boring, so I didn't get any questions, but now any questions? Mike.
Good morning, ma'am. Whenever we talk about building a strong team and sharing the same ideology, but at certain instances we have difference of opinion, and it may create an issue. How do you handle such instances?
Having a difference of opinion is very important. Otherwise, you will not know whether you are going right or wrong. So difference of opinion should be there. And you must argue, you must fight. But it should not be where it touches the core values of the company. I will not go in the details, but it shouldn't be that it comes on your partnership. Itna maine contribute kiya hai, to mera itna hi hai. All that should not happen. Everyday arguing and fighting and all that is fine. It should be there, because then how will you know if you're going right or wrong? If nobody argues or nobody questions, then you will think your product is very nice. But then if your partner has heard something or he has some new idea, and if he's telling you about it, even you should be accepting ki haan, usne bola hai, to I must think about it. There are many startups which have gone down because of much more bigger fights and all. It happens. Human nature, it happens, cannot be avoided. But you can try to take up partners right from the beginning who maybe ye problem nahi aayega. Always aa sakta hai, but you can try. As I said, me and my partner, no problem till date. We haven't had a fight till date because we don't overstep. We don't go in each other's domains. We know what he's strong in. He knows what I am strong in. So that's how it works. So, yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Next.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, why out of 10 startups, 9 fail just because we think that job is not an option?
I was supposed to talk here about entrepreneurship. That is why I'm giving the lecture on entrepreneurship. But job, there is nothing wrong in doing a job. There is nothing wrong in even doing, I worked before I started my company. In fact, whatever I learned at the job, you can sit. Whatever I learned at the job has helped me today to reach where I am. There's nothing wrong in doing a job. There's nothing wrong in even doing nothing and being a homemaker. That is probably the most difficult thing, being a homemaker, facing daily challenges and not being paid, not being appreciated for anything. Okay? So there is nothing wrong. Startups are many times done because, there is this dish, itna funding mil gaya, unicorn ban gaya. Zepto is there, Baiju is there, so many. There are such unicorns in the business and it's easy. And they start with some misplaced ideology that it is very easy to start something and just go in without any research. All this, your college years will play a main role in the foundation. That concrete idea will be built in your mind because of how you are, how you study, how much you absorb in these years. I have done my master's in environmental science, and my gradual transition to agriculture was very much natural because I was in that field. I already was doing a lot of work and I knew about it. लेकिन आप कुछ भी random thought लेके कोई startup चालू कर दोगे, then it will not work. Because today in media it is shown, Shark Tank and all, अरे कुछ भी कर लेते हैं, they get those checks and all. It doesn't work that way. So that is one of the reasons. Have I answered your question? And there is nothing wrong in doing a job. You must. Only then go on with your startup. Any other? Yes.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask about your personal experience as well as I'd like to have some advice from you. So, ma'am, मेरा question ये है कि आपका if your startup is bootstrapped or not, और अगर आपने कभी investment के लिए pitch किया है, तो what are the things that we have to keep in mind while preparing for that pitch?
My company was not bootstrapped at all. We had the finances in place. We had been working for some years. I had been working for 6 years. My partner had been working for even more. So we had our savings. We were well paid. We come from affluent families. So we didn't have any problem in the beginning. My tale is not that कि वो छोटे room में start किया 100 rupees से. It's not like that. We had the resources, we had the money, we had the infrastructure, we had everything. It is just that we had become lazy. Everything we had. It is just that we had become lazy, okay? So we had everything. But yes, for those who don't have, you need to, the government has given a lot of, there are a lot of schemes and a lot of programs which encourage startups through funding. And funding is done through various programs, but all of this will fall in place only if your pitch qualifies. So pitch is what? It's your presentation about your company, and there are a lot of elements in it. Okay? You have to present your idea is one thing, but about the finances, in how many years are you going to break even? At what profit are you going to sell? What is the turnover you're looking at 5 years down the lane, 10 years down the lane? What are your projections? So there are actually agencies who make pitch decks for you for a fees. because it's everything depends on the presentation. And then when you upload this presentation, then you might be selected to give a presentation, and then you have to pitch your idea. The people who will listen to your pitch will be a mixture of people from a lot of fields. So it might be your luck, you might not even find someone in the judges who is from your field, and you might not even get funding. If you are pitching, you have to be very well prepared for failing the pitches. You will fail so many times before you actually get some funding. And because there are so many people applying, so many, thousands and thousands of people applying. And everything depends on your deck. You make a good deck and you try your best, you might even get a good funding right at the beginning. But even the MD of Sugar Cosmetics, Vinta Agrawal, she also failed in her pitch 83 times before she got any funding. So it's like that. But in my company, which works with the government, we don't need that kind of a pitch or anything. So I never went for it. But for my skincare division, I did pitch once and I didn't make it. I'll be trying again. But yeah, so any other?
Ma'am, how did you expand as rapidly as you started your business?
Sit down. Yeah, thanks. Good question. Everybody asks me that question. So it's a combination of, I'll say we are working with very clear intentions and with a very good heart. As I said, it is not turnover that we want. We are working to uplift the community, to make linkages between the government and the farmers. We give quality. Wherever the name octopus comes, it is synonymous with quality. So when you do all that, you automatically get more orders. So turnover and money is a byproduct of all of that. But when you work with clear intentions, and another thing I'll tell you, the growth, since we are working with the government, the government has very huge funds, okay, because they're working for the people. You see the population, so then funds are very high. So if you have identified what you are going to give, the programs are also very big. They run for a year, for years, 2 years, 3 years, and you have to keep on supplying continuously. So we identified those, then we were also invited by our customers, ki aap yahan bhi do, give here, give there. And it is like that we have rapidly, it doesn't happen with all companies, very honestly, wo sabke sath nahi hota hai. But it has happened with us, because as I said, it's our nature, how we work. My partner, he is the one who brings in all the business, and I am the one who does all the execution at the production end and at the whatever, supply end and everything. So that working equation has also helped very much to get we are where we are today. My colleague from my company is also here. You can ask him, how is it working in the company? Break ke baad. So it's like that. So that is what I was thinking, from my experiences, if you can learn. Sirf as a startup khada kar dena is not the thing. It's how you work. What is your intention? Then the rewards will come. The rewards will come automatically. But if you are directly running after the rewards, arey paisa, then not going to happen. That is my experience. Yes, anyone else?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, what inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
Sit down. What happened? What was so funny? Kya hua? Yeah, so I come from a business family, actually. That is one point. As I said, when I left the job, you want to ask something else?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
मैम आपको कैसे पता चला कि ये आपकी मतलब पहली बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी है फर्स्ट?
I'll tell you. Yeah.
यस मैम.
As I said, when I left my job, at that time it was sure कि अभी job तो नहीं करने वाले. That was sure. No, as I said, I'll repeat, no punching, no Saturdays, and no running after turnovers. That was fixed. और कुछ fixed नहीं था, लेकिन ये 3 चीज़ तो fixed ही थी कि ये नहीं करना है. So the transition to business was quite natural because we were not going to work. And as I said, I have a background in environment and agriculture and all. And then we studied the guidelines and the fire plans and all. We already knew quite a lot of customers from this field. So the transition was, we were just trying our hand, okay, कि करके देखते हैं. But we, because of how we are and because of how we have never compromised on quality, we may have lost a few tenders because we have not lowered the price to that level because we will not go down in quality. That is our principle. Because of that, then the small orders gradually turned into big orders, and that's how it just kept on going. So it was just very natural. So there isn't any concrete answer for this, but it was just a natural transition. Personal, right? Yeah. Anything else? No girl is asking. अभी कोई girl पूछो. Girl सो रहे हैं. Someone ask, no? Girls. Boys only want to do business. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. How did you manage to tie up with the government and did the marketing?
Sit down. My partner is the one who brings in the businesses. And his working style is such. His working style is such, when he goes, he doesn't build business relationships, he builds relationships for life. His nature is such, the way he markets, he is an engineer from IIT, and he does not have a degree in management or marketing. It's not needed. His nature is such that people know that, if he's saying something, it will be delivered. So when initially we got those small orders, then we started traveling. And then when we would meet the customers, they would refer us to other customers. And then they would just see our work and they would know, that this is where we want to place our orders. So it is very important. Every time it is not about saving money. We were not saving, of course we were earning, but any other company would be earning much more because they would be compromising on quality and giving a lower quality item to gain more margins. But we weren't doing that. So they saw all that, and so afterwards, initial few years is what, not even few years, few months is when we got those orders directly. After that, we, to get any order in government, you have to participate in tenders. So then that is a fully transparent government e-procurement process. So then we became eligible to participate in tenders because of those initial orders. Because then we had the turnover to show, we had the paperwork in hand to show that now we can participate in the tenders. And then we just won all the tenders. We kept on winning and winning and winning. And that is how we became the leading suppliers. So, is that fine? Yeah. So you have to, your marketing shouldn't, it's not necessary कि MBA वाले ही marketing करें, no. How you are you a people's person? How do you talk? How do you conduct yourself while you are talking? There shouldn't be any arrogance. You shouldn't be pushing your product under their nose if they are not interested. It's how you are, that is finally how it will give results. Yeah, next.
Yes, first of all, good morning, ma'am. My question is, currently in India there are 117 unicorn startups, means they have over $1 billion valuation. So more of them are in loss. So what is the one main reason about their loss? And about Octopus, what is the Octopus business model?
Sit down. The unicorns which are in loss, it's basically they will never come out with those facts. We will not know for sure. But I know of a few startups who were unicorns and then now they are closed. They couldn't handle the funds which came in. There was so much funding coming in, they just couldn't handle it. They had the startup that I am talking about, they were an edtech startup. They flourished very well during the lockdown. And they got funding also at that time. But then after the lockdown, when the physical classes started, they were not able to change their strategy. And there was so much money coming in. So it was all misused. And then they weren't able to change their strategy on time. And so it has closed down. Something similar is happening to Byju's also. So it's how you pivot and how you change that. I'll give you an example of a very good pivot. Twitter was actually, and it was called Audio, as in audio. It was a podcasting site. But then with changing times, it changed, it became a microblogging site. And it is now Twitter, which is so popular. But then of course, they know what to do, no? They didn't mismanage the funds or mismanage the resources. YouTube was a matrimony site before it became the most popular video streaming website, portal. So it's like that. So unicorns generally in India are not able to manage the funds, but then some of them do, they are able to manage and they do, but the ones which are failing, वो लोग ज़्यादा बाहर तो reason we will never know, but from what I know. And the Octopus model, as I said, we were not bootstrapped at all. We are not yet at the unicorn stage. 100 billion is a very big thing, 100 billion US dollars. That is not what we are right now, but we have never been in loss. We have always been in profit right from the first month, and we are still growing. My business model is very simple. We are working with the government. Our intentions are very clear. We are working for the grassroots community. Uske related जो भी programs है, उसमें we are working. So of course we are not doing any community service. No. There are programs, there are businesses in which we can give our inputs and we can also earn, and we can also what our goal is for upliftment, that also we can do. In the soil health card project where we are running the laboratories in the entire state, we have given recruitment to educated unemployed youth, 200 of them, and it is so satisfying to see this. Educated, uneducated, unemployed youth, we have given employment to more than 400 people. They are, as I said, they are able to now buy two-wheelers, they can take loans from the banks based on their salaries. There is so much they can do. We have made women entrepreneurs. We have made so many rural entrepreneurs. So, our intentions, वो बोलते हैं ना, वो दिल में अगर clear है, तो फिर rewards आएगा ही, वो आएगा. Reward का फिकर करके काम किया तो it will not come. It's my experience, then हो भी सकता है, मुझे नहीं पता. Yeah, but that's our business model. My business model is not your typical startup. It's not your typical, we didn't start in that chota garage with 100 rupees. No, we had everything. We had everything, we had a good team, we started with a good team, our core team is very good. And it is because of all that only and what we have been doing that we have been getting the rewards. Because generally you will hear that, startups are in the field of edtech, fintech, IT. Ours is nothing like that. It's so different. Yeah, you can also do that. Anyone else? Yes, someone over there. Upar.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, what could be the mindset of a person who is starting some entrepreneurship or something? Like, what was your mindset?
My mindset at that time, let me remember. First of all, I had to get out of the laziness, the sleepiness that I had gone into. So that was the first thing that I had to do. Next was, since we were growing right from the beginning, no? So my team, the core team which came with me, actually they knew, they left the old company and came to us actually. So then it became my responsibility कि वो लोग वहाँ छोड़ के आए हैं, then I have to be serious in the work and I should be getting the profits. Their houses should be running no matter what. So that was my mindset at that time. When any of you start a startup, your mindset should also be very clear, you know, that you should be very serious about it. Okay, वो हंसी मजाक में हो जाए ऐसा लगता है when you watch Shark Tank or something, but it's not like that. You have to be serious about what you want to do. You have to be very clear, you know, you have to earn profits so that you can pay your team. कब तक वो करेंगे free में? क्यों करें? So initially that was the mindset, but then as we went on and we were earning and all, so then my team also kept on growing. So then it was the same thing, you know, that we bring in work, we uplift the communities, we do all that, but then my manpower, my core team also must enjoy the benefits, the fruits of what we were doing. That was my mindset. Everyone might have different, but mine was this. Yes. There is another hall ना जहाँ कोई मुझे सुन रहा है, उनको कोई questions होंगे तो क्या करेंगे? Vaibhavi, some other hall is listening to me. क्या करेंगे? They are connected. So if they have a question, okay. So if there are no questions, I'll just go ahead to the next slides. Okay. You can ask me questions after this also, no problem. So government support. This is also very important. Many people are not even aware of how much the government is doing to support startups. There are so many schemes and initiatives that the government has in place to support startups. You must remember that there is no age for a startup. You can have a startup at school level. You can have an innovation at school level, at college level. There is no age limit. To encourage you, the government has such schemes in place. And it's available online. But none of this, everything is in place, but everything will, in the end, it will be dependent on your pitch. How good your product is, what is the USP of your product, how unique is it, and how are you pitching it. If you are looking for funding from the government, then this is all that you need to have. So the Startup India initiative, excuse me. So once you register as a startup, there are many benefits. There are tax exemptions in the first 3 years. Out of the 10 years, there is funding support. You have simplified process for labor and environmental laws. There is from paying EMD document fees in tenders, patent filing support, and with up to 80% rebate on fees if you file for patent. Other than this also, there are many other advantages also. So like my company is also a startup. I have registered it as a startup. So I am also taking these advantages. I don't pay EMD fees. I don't pay document fees while filing a tender. I wasn't aware of all this, the first 3 years just went by and I didn't avail of any tax exemptions. But you guys need to be aware. Even I wasn't aware. I didn't search for all this. But this was there. The Atal Innovation Mission. I think there might be some collaboration with GSFC University also under this, maybe. It is a flagship initiative to promote innovation and entrepreneurship through Atal Tinkering Labs in school and incubation centers in colleges and industry and academic collaborations. Stand Up India, it is to promote entrepreneurship among women and marginalized communities, and it provides loans from 10 lakh to 1 crore for startups. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, designed to support small and medium-sized startups. It offers microcredit loans, and incubation and mentorship programs. Digital India and ease of doing business. Yes, now it has become very easy to register your startup, to get all the certificates, single window clearances. The tax laws are also very simplified now. Earlier it was not like that. So now all this has become very easy. Sector-specific policies. So for biotechnology field, there is the scheme called BIRAC, EDF for electronics, electronics and IT, ENAM for agriculture sectors. Fund of funds for startups. There is a corpus of 10,000 crore only for startups that the government has kept aside. Credit guarantee scheme, you get collateral-free loans from the government. This is not at all easy. You have to work hard to get even funding of 10 lakh rupees. You have to work very hard, okay? You have to devote a lot of time here. Support for research and development, of course, that they are doing. Market access and international exposure, they have all these big expos and exhibitions where international players also come and participate. So you can participate in that and you can learn about, what new is happening, what you can give. And yes, government gives preferences to startups while in their procurement process. So that is also one thing of which we had taken advantage of in the beginning. So, but your product has to be viable, okay? So these are some of them. There are some others also, few others. I have mentioned most of them. There might be a few others, but this is how much the government is doing. But you must be aware of these schemes keep on changing, and there are new schemes also coming up every day. So you need to be abreast of all this. And if you want to apply, you can apply. Any questions? This is all very straightforward, but if you have any questions, how to apply and all, it's through your pitch deck. Any questions? Okay. So now I'll conclude. 1 second. You can still ask me questions after that, no problem. So you are all first year students, right? So as students, they say is the future of India. So you hold the power to shape just not your own lives, but the world around you. So whatever path you take up for businesses, you must embrace the challenges, you must solve the problems, and leave a mark on the world. That is what is expected of you. Because this is just the beginning. You have so much to look forward to and so much to do. And entrepreneurship is not just about making money, it's also about making a difference, as I said. When you create something of value, you create jobs, you create opportunities, like she asked. You create jobs, you create opportunities, you create hope. You actually have the power to uplift communities and inspire others, which is what we are doing. So as I stand here today, reflecting on my journey, because I have talked so much about my journey also, And while I was making this presentation also, I was reflecting, oh, itna sara kar diya maine. For me, I have realized that success is not just a destination or an end. You know, it is a dynamic process. It is shaped by challenges and triumphs alike. The early successes did give me a momentum to dream bigger, while the challenges taught me to become more resilient, to become more creative, and the value of persistence. You know, na? Because if there are challenges, then you have to face those challenges, you become resilient. If there is something which looks very impossible, you have to become very creative. कि अभी ये नहीं है तो और क्या करें? So you have to be creative, you have to be very fast, and you have to persist. Through it all, I have learned that every obstacle or every hurdle that comes, it carried a lesson. It was not a setback, it carried a lesson. And every victory is a reminder of why I started this journey in the first place, and it keeps me grounded. थोड़ा सक्सेस मिलने पे यू मस्ट नॉट, वो बोलते हैं ना हवा में उड़ने का, फिर तो ख़त्म, चलेगा ही नहीं. यू मस्ट बी ग्राउंडेड. ओके, सो टू यू aspiring entrepreneurs, I say this: embrace the highs and lows, for they are both essential for your startup. Believe in your vision, trust the process, and don't be afraid to adapt and evolve. Success is not just about reaching your goals, but it is also about the person you become along the way. And with this, I conclude my speech. I thank you all for allowing me to share my story. I hope I have inspired you to forge ahead on your own journey with courage, determination, and hope. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to everyone. My name is Ms.Prachi. On behalf of GSFC University, I extend my sincere gratitude to Ms.Prachi Gala for an inspiring and thought-provoking session on entrepreneurship. Ms. Gala's remarkable journey in leading innovation in soil and water management, along with her entrepreneur ventures under Octopus Care and Octopus Marketing, has provided us with valuable insight into evolving business landscapes. Her experience in training under PMKVY and launching diverse initiatives reflects her commitment to sustainable growth and innovations. The session has been incredibly enriching for students across the School of Technology, Science, Management Studies, and Liberal Arts. Ms. Gala's focus on resilience, creativity, and adaptability has left a lasting impression, encouraging us to pursue entrepreneurial ambitions with confidence. We deeply appreciate your time and willingness to share your expertise with us today. Let's all extend a warm round of applause to Ms.Prachi Gala for her invaluable presence. Thank you once again. Now, I would like to call Dr. Saroj Shekhawat to felicitate ma'am with the memento.